But the vast majority of the core fan base, the working men and women and the people that are actually paying into this club, you alienate them, all that revenue you're gaining doing that one event is going to be lost because they'll just lose season ticket sales, merchandise, and everything else. So welcome back to Small East Alliance FC. And you may have seen recently in social media and further afield about speculation about Birmingham City asking to play their home game against Wrexham, actually away in America. That caused a lot of controversy and a lot of comments and a lot of reaction. And in this video, we just want to discuss that really and try and sort of discuss and consider whether or not we think that request was actually real in the first place. And if it did happen, what would be the potential issues in relation to making it happen? So did you see the conversations and the media coverage of this, Matt? And what are your thoughts?
I did. And I have three things on it for me, which I'll get straight out the gate. One, it was not real, I don't believe. So from after it was released that we had apparently alleged to have proposed a fixture with Wrexham in the US, it came out that actually that wasn't true. So that was good to hear. Two, I didn't like it. I understand the controversy. You know, it goes everything against the DNA of this club. You know, historically, everything about what we stand for, the morals of the club. We play at St.Andrews at Knighthead Park. Do not move where we play, even if it's for a one-off international fixture. And the third thing was, although I'm not saying it's okay, but this is kind of the way football is going as well, isn't it? We have American owners, they're a hedge fund, they want to make money, they're going to want to try and exploit all avenues of revenue, and that is one way of doing it, having those international games, international big fixtures. So I understand, I guess, the theory and logic behind it, just in terms of that Knighthead business people, American, the rumours kind of made sense in the context of it would have been believable for them to do that, but I think keep our fixtures at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. It goes everything against this club's values and morals, and I didn't like it. And I'm glad it was fake, and I really hope it was fake. That they didn't actually even approach that conversation.
Yes, this is what frustrated me. It was blown out of all proportion on the base. There was no basis for any confirmation from either Wrexham or Birmingham when that statement was initially made to say that any conversations are taking place. In fact, Ryan Reynolds, I think, came out saying that we've had no conversations with Birmingham City. Birmingham City appear to have had no conversations with Wrexham. So it appears to me to be a fabricated story based upon somebody in some social media just trying to provide clickbait, and then people just jumped on it.
Exactly. I think it's because Wagner's American, it's an easy target. And he's a businessman and it's a hedge fund. It's easy to look at Wagner and use him as that money greedy picture who's someone who wants to take his club and do these international games. So actually it's painting our owner in a bad light as well. And as you say, I'm glad it was fake. Well, from what I've been hearing, it was fake. It would be good to get an official statement from the club just to say, no, this wasn't actually done by us or approached by the club. That would be nice just to get that closure.
But it's difficult for the club, Matt, isn't it? Because if they had to react to every single bit of media gutter press and speculation, they'd be doing it all the time, wouldn't they?
But this is a biggie, though. It's a particularly big one which has rolled up the fan base, and rightly so. It did anger me as well when I read it. You know, I didn't like it, and
yeah, but you get angry for nothing because if it's not real, the media is forcing you to be angry on a non-issue.
But to me, that's why the club should come out and say it's nonsense. Yeah, because there's a lot of angry fans. By the way, I'm not saying I am angry at Wagner. I'm angry at the club. I'm angry, I guess, at the prospect of even a game being played in international. Or in America or anything like that. I think that just goes against, as I say, everything that this sort of club stands for, really.
It completely does. And, let's just say use a scenario that the club were at some point interested in doing that. This is completely hypothetical. This is why it wouldn't work. Okay, it wouldn't work because if you look at the model of the NFL that play games in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in England and they play in Germany and play in other parts of the world, they are a global franchise NFL that are trying to promote their American football to get new fans in different countries, okay? We are a club as part of the EFL, not the Premier League, the EFL. What do America care about the EFL? They probably never even heard of them. It would be of no benefit to the EFL. The EFL came out and said they'd completely shut it down anyway, which rightly so, because I agree that they shouldn't allow these type of things anyway. But even if there was any prospect of it ever actually happening, it's going to be of no benefit to the EFL because it's not going to promote the EFL. Because if it was a Premier League game, you think, well, actually, maybe a same sort of thing with the franchise of the NFL, that the Premier League is a much more globally recognised brand than the EFL. So to me, I don't think they could follow the model of the NFL and think, okay, it works for the NFL. Let's go and just plant one of our matches in a different country. It would just fall flat on its face. That's why it would never work. What I didn't like about it was obviously all the fans from other clubs saying, "Oh, Birmingham City are this and that. They're big time Charlies. They're greedy and blah blah." But it didn't come from us. It didn't come from Birmingham City, and I don't think other fans actually sort of realise that as well. The other thing as well, you've got the media building up this American Hollywood versus NFL derby between Wrexham and Birmingham City, because that will sell papers, it will get clicks, and we are going to be playing Wrexham. We are. They have got American owners, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, and we are linked with obviously Tom Brady, from a really sort of absolutely global superstar in his profession, and our owners are American. But it's the way that the media are building up this frenzy, and I think this is the outcome of these type of stories. And because of that, they're trying to sort of embellish something that may have been a seed that's been planted in someone's head, but it's never been a real idea. It's just not real.
Yeah, I mean, but what do you think though? Wagner is a businessman. It's a hedge fund. They're here to make money. Again, we've made this abundantly clear on the podcast that there's no doubt about it. They're financial people. They're money people. Do you see, again, I'm not talking about international football in America here, but do you see sort of incentives like this happening to our club in the course of the next 5 to 10 years in the interest of revenue, in the interest of getting our name out there? So it might not be as drastic as an international game in America, but a lot of Blues fans are worried that, again, season ticket prices are going to go up. The average fan's going to get priced out. Because when these things happen, they're inevitable conversations which fall out from that, isn't it? Thinking about pricing out the everyday man from the club, all these different things. So I think a few fans are worried. It's a fair concern when you think about the hedge fund element to the owners of our club, that they are going to look for different areas of revenue and different ways of putting us on the map, aren't they, to some extent? So it is inevitable to some extent that things like these are going to happen moving forward 5-10 years from now.
Listen, Matt, Tom Wagner's an intelligent man. Obviously, he hasn't got to where he is without having some form of business sense. He's clearly clear. So he's going to know to increase revenue. Don't alienate the very people that are spending the money, the fan base. Don't alienate them by doing something stupid like that, because you might get some fans that can afford it, a very small few that can go over and enjoy it and blah blah and have a great time. But the vast majority of the core fan base, the working men and women, and the people that are actually paying into this club, you alienate them, all that revenue you're gaining doing that one event is going to be lost, because they'll just lose season ticket sales, merchandise, and everything else. So Tom Wagner's going to know that. They're going to know the feeling of the fan base. But to come on to your other point, there are going to inevitably be other things happening to increase the revenue streams that is going to expect us to pay a little bit more money. But I think that if they can provide us with an attractive, successful team, I think the Blues fans will be willing to pay that extra little bit to go and watch it. Yeah. But I think they have to be very, very careful here. So that's another reason why I don't think that would ever happen, is because you'd alienate 95% of the Blues fan base that would object to it, in my opinion. Yes, exactly. And also
we're not going to America.
And also, what do you do if we're paying for a 23-game season ticket and one of them's going to America? Let's say, am I going to get a refund for for the match that I'm? So that's going to cost them money as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the whole thing makes no logical sense.
It doesn't make any. But again,
I think people are angry at forget that Wagner or a conversation even happened. It's the prospect of something like this happening in the future that would look like it's outpricing or devaluing the core supporters of this club. I think that's what people are worried about, that incentives or international games or whatever it might be, it devalues and doesn't appreciate the core fan base of this brilliant club.
I expect the club to look at a wide range of revenue streams. We saw, they're obviously doing a load behind the scenes, aren't they? Because we saw that notice from the club a few days ago that the 2 areas of hospitality have already sold out for the whole season. Obviously, there's more opening up as
Tilton sold out.
The Upper Tilton sold out of season tickets now. So obviously, the Blues fans and the corporate hospitality areas are starting to be sold now. So there's a lot that's coming into the club at the moment as well. So, but they will look a wider ways of actually sort of developing those revenue streams, because that's what makes clubs successful, isn't it? So, but this type of thing here, I don't think would ever happen. The other thing as well, there was we were having a laugh with me last season about the way that Wrexham have got this Disney Plus documentary.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been amazing if we'd have had one last season? What happened at our club last season? And I don't know whether we'll ever go down that road of doing that, but I think that the club are very clever in terms of trying their way to diversify their income streams to give us a much more solid financial footing to move forward into the future. But to me, trying to take us to different countries is a step too far.
Yeah.
A big step too far.
Yeah, didn't like it. I hope it was fake, and from what I'm reading, it was fake. So that's good to hear. But as I say, as I said, I understand and appreciated why Blues fans felt angry and upset about it, because I felt the same. And again, regardless of whether it was true or not, it was just the prospect of things like this happening to this club moving forward. But there's a fine line between disregarding your loyal fan base and making decisions based on money, but then also being financially viable and making sure we have a good product on the pitch and making sure the revenue's there for us to make investments on and off the pitch and all these different things. So Wagner's a smart man, as you said. The board are smart. They know what they're doing. But when they make these decisions, they need to balance how much money they're going to bring in by how much it's going to affect the fan base as well. And if it's going to affect the fan base too much, I like what you said, Dad, it's going to affect all the other streams of revenue regardless anyway. So my point is they just need to be careful with what they're doing and what they're planning. And I'm glad it was fake. And no international football. We play at St.Andrews. Hopefully consistently at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Of course, they filter slightly and change slightly. But that's our kickoff. That's our stadium. Keep our football at St.Andrews.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's what we think, Birmingham City supporters. We get frustrated when we see these stories, when, it's clear that the club have made no steps to even have discussions to make this happen that we're aware of. And as Matt said, it might have been a good idea just for the club to come out and just make a simple statement. We've not contacted or spoken to anybody about this, and that just puts an end to it completely. But that's not happened, and as you can see, we as Birmingham City supporters feel that would be a really, really bad idea. But what do you think, Birmingham City supporters? We love to hear your opinions. Again, just to remind you, because this is quite an emotive subject, and there's some fairly harsh comments on social media. If you do comment on our channel, please make sure you keep them clean, because we are a family podcast, and only comments that have got swear words or abusive or aggressive behaviour will be deleted. Opinions won't be, but just those criteria is really important that you don't do that. But we'd love to hear from you, so please add a comment below and let us know your thoughts. And as always, if you did like our content, you did like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't checked us out on our social media channels, make sure you do so by popping along to our X page and Instagram page, and you can see the handles appearing on the screen right now. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Matt will see you on the next video.